Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball, and right now, very honored to have as a guest Dee Snider from the band Widowmaker, and actually the first host of this show, but it was called something else then.
Yeah, it was called Heavy Metal Mania. I actually invented this show, so thank me that you have a job.
Thank you that I have a job.
You're doing a very good job. I love what you do with the place, too. It's very nice.
Another thing, we're going to get to Widowmaker, and I have to ask a couple Twisted Sister questions.
That's okay.
But I want to ask, every time I turn on Howard Stern in the morning, you seem to be on Howard's show a lot.
I'm not actually on there. I'm just like his hero. You know, and we're very, very good friends.
Yeah, is he a good guy?
Great guy. When I met him, though, he didn't look the way he looks. He kind of, if you look at him, he kind of looks like me. You know, his hair and his sunglasses, and my wife dressed him, and I gave him a lot of my old clothes, and he's got my look. And what kills me is to have people walk up to me on the street and go, "You look like Howard Stern."
Yeah.
You're not.
Well, there, we plugged his show. Maybe he'll give us a plug. Got it. Anyways, on to, I want to get some Twisted Sister questions out of the way. What happened with Twisted Sister? I mean, they were a very influential band before.
They died. Tragically, all 4 members exploded, spontaneously combusted, much like the Spinal Tap drummers. No, actually, they didn't. Really, we got overexposed. I mean, it was pretty obvious. The success of the band eventually killed the band. We went from being a very street credible thing to a very acceptable thing that every mom and dad and little kid in America liked, and it was really weird for me. I never expected that kind of
You would hear the name
success.
Twisted Sister, like in a sitcom. If somebody was going to say a heavy metal band, they might say Twisted Sister.
And the videos that were meant to be funny videos, we became funny. We didn't mean to be funny, and all of a sudden we were cute and comic, and we became a parody of ourselves, and we just couldn't survive that.
Because a lot of my friends come from Detroit, and they used to tell me, like, "Oh man, we used to see Twisted Sister play a lot, and they're like the heaviest thing around." And I guess you guys played out there.
Yeah, when we started, we had almost a punk following, really. It was very aggressive and very thrashy. We used to tour with Metallica over in Europe. I mean, it was a very aggressive band. Believe me, no one was more surprised than me when we became like a household word, and that, like, successful. I became like a celebrity. It was very weird.
We're going to be back talking to Dee Snider, and we're also going to be playing the video from his band Widowmaker. The video is called The Widowmaker, and much more stuff. And Headbangers Ball continues. Stick around. Welcome back to the Ball, and right now we're here with Dee Snider, and we were talking a little bit about success being the demise of Twisted Sister in a sense.
Definitely.
And then you took some time off.
Yeah. Not really intentionally, though. I had a band in the interim called Desperado that some people may have heard rumors about. It was with Elektra Records, and after like 2 years of developing the project, about 2 weeks before the record was to come out, Elektra shelved it due to the fact that the A&R guy had left the company. It was real ugly. Spent another year in the courts. It's not a pretty story, folks.
One of them beat those business legal type of things that we don't care about.
I was on a beach somewhere having a cool one, just relaxing. No.
You spent 5 years getting inspiration to write this record.
Absolutely.
How's that? That'll work better.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about Widowmaker.
Well, the band Widowmaker, the main difference between Twisted and Widowmaker is that Twisted was built on the image. We had the name and the look before we had song 1 with Twisted Sister. This band didn't have anything but the musicians, and that's what was built on the music first. The name came later on. We got the name of the band from the song, The Widowmaker, single, and video, soon to be seen.
Just a little bit.
Killer musicians. Al Petrelli, who's worked with Alice Cooper and Great White in Asia, and you've met Al. Joe Franco, who's like a god drummer. He writes the books that other drummers use. Every time other drummers see Joey, they do the Wayne's World, They're Not Worthy. And my bass player, he's from England, just a killer bass player, Mark Russell.
Now, did you kind of put this band together?
Definitely.
I mean, is it definitely a band?
It's definitely a band.
It's not a Dee Snider's Widowmaker.
I was offered a deal to come out and do, you know, they were going to give me the pop producer and the songwriting team and do a Dee Snider pseudo-pop metal record. And I said no. I wanted a band vibe. I just think a band's a much cooler thing. And these guys are all, I mean, only way I could put it in financial terms, we're partners. So we share and everything. So that it's a real band, and this is the band that you're going to see in the next album, the next tour. These are the guys.
And you having a good time with them?
I had a great time.
Now, what about the songwriting? Is it a collaboration, or?
Yeah, in Twisted, I used to write everything myself. And with this band, I'm co-writing for the first time. I wanted the music to have that two-dimensional, that musical depth. Twisted didn't have that. It was very one-dimensional. It was fun. It was great. But the song's very simplistic. They captured a moment, but then they just faded away. I want stuff like Crazy Train and Crowley and Walk This Way, songs that last 10 years later, you're still listening going, hey, that's cool.
Cool. We're going to be back talking to more Dee Snider, but right now we're going to be playing the video from Widowmaker. Here is Widowmaker. Adjusting it, you almost could have seen my new haircut, which is not a pretty sight, but don't worry, it's hair. It grows back.
When will it be revealed to the public?
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's fabulous.
By the time it grows back.
I think everybody should stop hassling Ricky about his hair. If he wants to look like GQ Tattoo, let him.
If you saw what it looks like on here, it's very far from being GQ.
Yeah, that's not GQ.
Anyways, back on something more important like Widowmaker. We just saw the video for The Widowmaker, and you guys are starting to play some shows right now, right?
Yeah, I just came back from Seattle, which was great. It's great to have your band breaking in a town like Seattle with everything that's happening up there right now.
You guys are a hard rock band.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a rock and roll band. A lot of that Seattle stuff is that grungy type of stuff. I mean, there is a hard rock scene in Seattle, right?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think that, I think what's happened in Seattle is great. It's, it's really fresh, and I know it's been going on for a while now. And actually up in Seattle, I think it may be, don't get nuts on me now, Seattle, getting a little old. You got to remember, by the time the rest of the world gets turned onto a scene, it's been there for years. It was like that with L.A. The L.A. scene, when it was exploding, had already been happening for a couple of years by the time, the rest of the world got turned onto it.
And when everybody gets turned onto it, it usually kills it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now here's a question of somebody that's seen a lot of the changes in the music scene going on, from the big makeup, big hair days to the Seattle thing to what do you think is going to be the future in the mid-90s? I have my predictions.
Widowmaker. No.
Good one, see?
Good answer. No, I mean, I really can't tell you. Everything seems cyclical. You got so many.
Seems what?
Cyclical.
Cyclical.
Check it out, the vocabulary.
Cyclical.
It means it goes in cycles, folks. I mean, you see how many bands are influenced by Black Sabbath.
Right.
You got bands like Helmet. We were just talking about this before. I mean, that's early Sabbath. And that stuff was, happening in the early, it's still happening, but in the early 70s when that stuff was born. So I really can't tell where it'll go. But the outside influences like funk and rap and the grunge thing, I think are really healthy for the metal scene. I think it's, definitely affecting me.
So you think that what we're going to get next, maybe the new music scene or rock scene, is going to be just a collaboration of everything else?
Absolutely.
Into a mishmash. Now, what type of people are showing up at the Widowmaker shows? Are you getting a lot of old Twisted? Obviously, you are going to get a lot of Twisted Sister fans. Yeah,
well, something that was a negative thing at the end of Twisted has become a positive thing now. Toward the end of Twisted, we had a lot of little kids showing up. Twisted was a band that was born out of the biker bars of Long Island. I mean, and we didn't run a clean show. And that's why I wound up getting arrested in a lot of towns. But now all these people are 5, 8 years older, and they're, in their late teens or in college, and they're showing up for the shows, and that's just perfect for what I'm looking to appeal to with Widowmaker.
Well, the record is called Blood and Bullets. It's called by Widowmaker. They are on the road and hitting some of your clubs, so definitely check them out, and good luck with everything.
Hey, thanks, Rick.
Hope everything goes great. And right now, let's play a video from a band that, when we did our show in 1991, I predicted this band was going to be huge in 92, and they weren't as huge as I think they should have been, but nonetheless, we're going to play the video because I dig them. Here is COC with Dance of the Dead.